Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Asset investor. I'm toning it down just a little bit because my kids are still asleep this morning. But today's school is back in. But anyway, I wanted to show you this article. It's Ripple's X Current gets an update, and they're talking about how X Current, and for those of you that don't know, X Current does not use XRP. X Rapid does use XRP. X Current is being upgraded to 4.0. And the point that you need to get out of this is that this is Ripple making a more seamless interface for the use of X Rapid. And so what they're doing is they're setting up the software so that it's so that you can go from X Current, a bank or a payment company can go from X Current to the use of X Rapid more or less with the push of a button. And I just wanted to read you a couple of quotes out of here. It says, what this release enables you to do is that in countries where you think it's appropriate and X Rapid's available, using your X Current software, you can now plug into on-demand liquidity using X Rapid. And then they also said, in other countries where there's not good regulatory clearance or digital asset infrastructure, you just continue to use X Current as is with fiat liquidity. Now this is important because what they're saying here is, as we all know, regulatory uncertainty has been a huge part of this. It's a big part of the reason the market has gone down recently, and as well as other things. But the overall point is that you, as an XRP holder, you're holding the best digital asset with more use case than any other digital asset in the space right now. And what you're seeing them get all of their ducks in a row, so that as the regulatory climate improves and as the regulatory bodies across the world begin to get their rules in place, all of these customers who are already set up with X Current are going to be, all they're going to have to do is, what I hear people call it, flip a switch, push a button, whatever you want to call it. XRP and Ripple is going to be perfectly positioned to go live and country by country and to take over the world. So you should be very excited about that. There was one other article I wanted to cover this morning, and it's this one on CoinGate. Selling cryptos now is just like selling Amazon stocks in 2001. Stock market is no different. This is an interesting article because they laid out a few interesting things here. And first, they've got a quote here. It says, most valuable assets and asset classes endure bubbles. And before I go through this article, what I want you to be thinking about is two things that digital assets have that Amazon and none of these tech companies that were starting out, none of them had ahead of them what we have as holders of XRP or crypto. And the two things that is, first, the Amazon and these tech stocks, they were not a new asset class. This is the first time, as I've told you many times, first time that we will have a new asset class since the year 1696 in this world. So it's a new asset class. And the second thing, which kind of goes hand in hand with that, is that those tech stocks like Amazon and Facebook, they already had Wall Street. Wall Street's money was already in. It was just a matter of that money going up or down in terms of investing in those stocks. But with crypto, the Wall Street money, the average investor as well as institutions, they've not even had real access to the investment yet. And for that reason, we are in a much better spot, even than Amazon back in 2001, for what's coming. But moving along, I just wanted to show you a few of these graphical presentations that they had here. And this is the dot-com boom from 92 to 06, and it had crashed in 02. And what's important, a lot of you may not know, from 92, from here to here, if it had .com on it, it was booming. But here, what happened is all of them crashed together. Well, when I see this, what I compare it to in terms of what we're looking at is from here to here, these were .coms. Well, from here to here, all cryptocurrencies have gone up as long as they're a cryptocurrency. But in my opinion, and then what happened in .com, the .coms all went down together when the crash happened. But the ones that rose, the Amazons, the Facebooks, and all these, Facebook came about a little bit later, but the Amazon, the eBay, the ones that came and rose from the ashes were the ones that were actual real companies. The .coms that had failed, they just had .com in the end of the name, and it may have been pets.com with no infrastructure, no real company behind it other than the fact that it owned a good domain name and had a .com. Well, in the same way, I believe that the ones with real use case in digital assets will rise from the ashes the same way, the lead one being XRP. This is just common sense. But it also went on to show about how a lot of the FANG stocks, FANG refers to Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. They were talking about how these stocks have been crashing in 2018. But anyway, moving along, I just wanted to show you that, and then this is a chart, I've probably shown you this before, that shows how these stocks, now these companies, a lot of these companies are companies that are around today, but in that period from 2000, 2002, they went down as much. Amazon, 98.7%, Cisco, 86.5%. Look at this, Nortel, Priceline, Lucent. Some of these companies went out of business, but the ones that survived, what would have happened if you had held on? Now, and you will have many cryptos fail. That's just a part of it. That's a part of it. But when XRP, Ripple is so far ahead of all these other companies in this space, it's not even close. And so I've always said Ripple is the Amazon, but bigger. And so moving along, I wanted to read these last two quotes to you because this kind of sums it up. This is from Weiss. Amazon was down over 95% over 2 years during the .com bubble burst. After the bust came the biggest expansion of tech that the world had ever seen. If we are indeed in that stage of the evolution of DLT, then in 2 to 3 years we will see a massive adoption of the technology. And then this is Eric Voorhees from CEO of Shapeshift. Remember, just because something goes through a speculative bubble doesn't mean it's worthless. Most valuable assets and asset classes endure bubbles. All asset classes endure bubbles. It doesn't matter what they are. The economy, life is a cycle. That's just the way the world works. But remember, all of these stocks that went through these tech bubbles and bursts, all of them, they were not new asset classes. This is the first time in over 500 years that there's been a new asset class. So ignore all this noise and make sure that your investments are in, of course, XRP because it's the greatest ever and has the most use case. But if you're going to invest in any of these digital assets, and it is a great time to buy, not financial advice, it's a great time to buy though. If you're going to invest in any of them, make sure you find the ones that have a use case. And in my opinion I only invest in digital assets that are not mine, because as we've seen this past week, what set this whole ball rolling of the digital assets going down was these miners fighting with each other over Bitcoin Cash and a fork. And so I don't invest in mineable cryptocurrencies. That's not how I'm going to do it. So anyway, I am the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please tell your friends and family that we are on the precipice of the first new asset class in the last 500 years. Don't miss out on it. Don't let all the emotion of this kind of stuff bother you. Keep your eye on the ball, and the important ball is that this is a revolution and it's about to change everything. So do not let these ignorant people in the media sway what your gut has been telling you all along. Thanks for listening.